Hello, my name is Patrick Moore,
And I'm Marlisa McLaughlin.
and I'd like to welcome all of you to Health Buzz.
Perspectives on Natural Healing.
This is our third show, and I'd like to review our mission and purpose of Health Buzz. We are an educational program dedicated to bringing you cutting-edge news in the world of natural health and healing, and offering ideas that we can all use to improve our health, age gracefully, and hopefully inhibit that aging process so we don't age prematurely. We're also dedicated to exposing and challenging health myths and dogmas, as well as the conventional wisdom of our American medical system, which we did in our first show where we looked at dietary cholesterol and exposed the fact that the government has been giving us wrong advice for the past 50 years, and now they're changing all their guidelines, and that there's no relationship between dietary cholesterol and raising cholesterol in the bloodstream. So we made a lot of people out there happy, where they could feel that they can eat eggs
Freely and openly.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're about, keeping an open mind and broadening your perspective so you can have optimum health in a natural way, not the unnatural way.
Absolutely.
Restrained.
Well, okay, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm also a nutritionist. I have a doctorate in natural medicine, master's degree in nutrition, and for the last 13 years, I've been teaching nurses at Yale New Haven Hospital on better ways to take care of themselves, cope with stress, and be more productive. I've also taught graduate school, nutritional medicine at a place called the Graduate Institute in Bethany, a master's degree program. And I'm also a developer of my own products in the anti-aging skincare business. Marlisa and I together, we're very fortunate. We met representing this company from China. It's probably the most largest biotech company in the world, making and manufacturing and marketing medicinal mushrooms. So that's how we came together, through the mushroom business.
And we have common travels. I am a certified yoga teacher, and I lived in Iceland for 17 years. I raised a family. I also brought yoga and healing touch to the culture, and it was a whale watching guide.
Wow.
So we were 60 nautical miles off the Arctic Circle. In our bay, we had 12 of the 15 species of whales. And I think it was watching and observing the breath of the whale, excuse me, that helped me realize just how important the breath is. So we had a great success with breathing exercise. Yes. I'd like to invite you again to just sit back in your chair, or if you're standing, balance out on both feet. Tilt the pelvis slightly under. So you just want to bring back the upper carriage and roll your shoulders back gently and drop into the elbows and the arms. And then just reach with the crown rising skyward. And we're going to draw a thin thread-like breath in through the nose and down to the belly. So you want to get a nice round Buddha belly, contrary to trying to suck it in and look really thin. We want to fill our bellies with life. So take the breath in through the nose and hold. And as you exhale, just gently draw the navel to the spine and let the crown and the whole upper body rise skyward and soften. So you soften loosely. You can even close your eyes if you'd like to. Draw the breath in through the nose. Gently and easily hold. And as you exhale, rising through the crown, let your shoulder blades glide down the spine. And one more time. Breathe in through the nose. Relax. Exhale. And release. How was that, Patrick?
Awesome.
Okay.
We did that in the last show, and I felt so much better starting the show.
People noticed, too.
Yeah, so much more relaxing. I was a little tense and a little uptight in that deep breath. Just 3 breaths.
I couldn't believe my dad said, "Look at that guy go." That was fun.
Well, I was trying to impress you.
You did well.
Okay, well, today we have a fantastic show. Before we start that, though, did you want to just go through a couple comments from...
Oh, yes. Thanks, guys. Yeah, viewers' comments.
For the essential oils.
So a gentleman from Stonington who was raised on a farm in the 50s, which I found interesting to include, said, quote unquote, "Very informative, entertaining, and fun. It brought me back to knowledge of subject matter that I'm not really subjected to in daily life. Most importantly, the health issues on the buzz are very relevant to everyday issues. Thanks for sharing that." So a health practitioner in Rhode Island, we seem to be gathering some Rhode Island viewers, and a user of oils, was quoted saying, "Love the show on essential oils. I use them on a regular basis. Sarah introduced oils that I'm going to need to incorporate into my life for balance and well-being. By the way, I love the music at the beginning of the show. Thanks to both of you for spreading holistic balance.
Oh, that's nice.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
And a viewer from Mystic says, just finished watching the latest episode. Very informative and interesting. The show really covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Great questions and side notes added by hosts Marlisa and Patrick.
Wow. Good.
So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, that was we'll have Sarah back. I think, did you say Michelle?
I said Sarah.
Oh, yeah, we'll have Sarah back. She did fabulous, and I have a lot of comments, too, that people couldn't get enough information on essential oils. We only covered 5 subjects, but weight loss is something that's really a big criteria that a lot of people ask me about. So when we have her back, let's focus on that.
Yep, okay.
Seems to be the hot button. Well, today our show is centered around garlic. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Aromatic smells in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, garlic, I'm going to spend a few minutes just going over some of the nutritional benefits from a naturopathic standpoint. Garlic has been found in every culture, every civilization for thousands of years. If you go back to the days of the Romans and Roman soldiers and Greek soldiers, they would get garlic right before they went into battle.
Because it made them hardy and strong.
And gave them good stamina. The surgeons would all treat battle wounds with garlic because of its tremendous healing and antibiotic capacity. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, number 1 medicine for him was garlic. He used huge dosage of it to treat cancer and all kinds of respiratory infections. The Egyptians, how did they build those pyramids? They got a dose and a ration of garlic every day because of the strength it gave them. In fact, in recorded history, the first recorded labor strike took place from the Egyptian slaves because they ran out of garlic.
I believe it.
They said, we're not going to work. It's a work stoppage unless we get our garlic. And, if we go to modern days, World War I was known as Russian penicillin.
That's right.
Before penicillin, garlic was used as one of the primary antibiotics because people were dying left and right from infections. They didn't have much. So it has a credible history, going back to every time. There are probably, if we look at modern science, they've identified over 150 health benefits to garlic. And we only have time to go through a few of them, but one of the aspects of garlic is it's probably one of the most powerful antibiotics on earth. You're familiar with antibiotics or antioxidants, right?
The antioxidants. If you take the oxygen away, you're going to have a mess. Don't clean it up.
A lot of people think this is one of the ways we age through oxidation. Oxidation basically is rust. Just like you have a rusty nail, people believe internally we're rusting. So an example of that is when you cut an apple open, what happens to it?
Right. It turns brown, so you need
brown.
the lemon juice.
You put the lemon juice, which is packed with all kinds of vitamin C-like compounds. That's antioxidants. So you braise it and it stays intact. You see that with oxidation with nails. We use antioxidant-type substances so our cars don't rust. Basically, if we look at the human progression of aging, we're rusting. Now, some of us are going to rust faster than others. So antioxidants, garlic is one of the most potent and anti-inflammatories too. And that's important because in our last show we talked about cholesterol and how vital it was as a survival molecule, how important it was in our body.
Right.
How it's the basic foundation for vitamin D production and all our hormones, progesterone, testosterone, great for the brain, forming memories. So it's actually a harmless molecule that's beneficial. It's just when it gets oxidized, then it can plaque the arteries. So nutrients like garlic, spices, fruits, vegetables are all packed with antioxidants, and they can really be helpful to prevent that plaquing of arteries.
As well as good exercise.
Yeah.
You need to have that too.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to some friends about that, and they were saying, well, I still want to eat the stuff that I eat and sit on my couch occasionally. So you can have high cholesterol, but you also have to keep those other things in check.
It's all balanced. Well, the second aspect is what I call broad spectrum protection. This is one of the few nutrients on earth that is not only an antibiotic, but an antiviral, antifungal, and antiparasitic. So traditionally, people would use it for almost everything, particularly to prevent food poisoning, salmonella, E. coli, things of that nature. And historically, you probably know a lot about this. Wasn't it used to ward off anti-vampire?
Yeah, they are parasites, the most parasitic of all creatures. So no wonder they wore those. I was going to bring you a garlic necklace. I just couldn't make it happen.
Oh, you should have.
You might have needed it after last time.
Good for my image. I like that. And also, I mean, some people use it for weight loss, garlic for weight loss in the past. You've heard of garlic diet? Or?
I think I've heard a joke. Isn't that the one where if you eat a lot of garlic from a distance, your friends think you look thinner?
Because they don't want to get near you?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But, if we go back again to this broad spectrum healing capacities, the Black Plague, which took out 1/3 of Europe, there was became very famous. It was called Four Thieves vinegar, and it was a vinegar packed with lots of garlic. So after a village would die off, I mean, although no one wanted to go in there,
Right.
there was gold, silver, all kinds of belongings. No one would go in there. They think they're going to die or catch that plague. But these thieves would go all in with the garlic protected and take all the belongings. And so it became very famous through the ages, the Dark Ages and things like that. And even in Paris, we go to Paris, they actually serve it. Four Thieves vinegar.
Oh, that's
a lot
so
of the restaurants and cafes.
That is very cool.
One thing about how garlic works extremely fast. I've actually used garlic oil in the intensive care unit at Yale New Haven Hospital on my mom. And I showed the nurses this. I took garlic oil and rubbed it on the soles of her feet. And I said, come back in 5 minutes and smell her breath. Within 5 minutes, garlic breath, because it went right through her system, right through the bloodstream,
That's
like
what
a
you're
jet
talking
stream.
about.
So it's very therapeutic.
Right.
And there's one thing I'd like to just say about the most potent form of garlic is to eat it raw. Now, all garlic is good and fantastic. But if you want the ultimate medicine of garlic, you eat it raw. You cut a slice and you let it sit for about 15 minutes. Because then this reaction takes place. There's a compound called allicin, which matches up with an enzyme called allinase. They mate. As they mate, they produce a whole new offspring called allicin. And that is the potent medicine in garlic.
Allicin.
Allicin.
Like the son of Ali.
Ali, yeah. Muhammad Ali really can punch out those pathogens. So it's something that, as I said, all garlic is good, whether it's roasted or boiled or things like that. But if you really have a health condition where you want the most potent medicine, that's the way to take it. I use it with children and adults. You take one of those cut slices and you can put in a little honey and it is right down the chute. So something to know about. Other aspect is here we are, Lyme disease, ticks, the center of the universe right here. And they found that garlic, and you don't even have to open it up, but just wearing it repels ticks, insects, mosquitoes, everything like that. In fact, there have been a lot of medical studies on this too, that it has a dramatic effect, a very important effect in inhibiting ticks. So I would use garlic with your dogs, your pets, give it to your kids, things like that if they're out there playing.
Well, you know what? We actually, now that you say that, we have 2 dogs, and we are garlic farmers, and our dogs rip their collars off because they play a lot, but they're not getting bitten by ticks. They don't have Lyme disease, and we don't have problems like that. So, maybe it's the garlic. I never even thought about that before.
Yes, and the insects can smell the garlic. You don't have to open it up where we
No,
we
you
smell
don't.
it. They smell it. They smell a
You can
different
smell it when
mechanism.
it's practically in the ground and hasn't even come up for harvest yet. So.
Yeah, and just in closing on some of the health benefits, it's fantastic for your heart. It has all kinds of nutrients that relax your blood vessels and cleanse the blood vessels and affect blood pressure, in a very nice way. You see the compounds of garlic are sulfur-based, and sulfur, in many ways, is your detoxifier. It cleanses the body and it activates these enzymes in the liver that can actually pull out toxic metals from your body.
Oh, that's
Mercury,
so cool.
lead, cadmium. Sulfur is also your beauty mineral. You don't hear about sulfur too much, but it's your beauty mineral. So for hair, nails, skin, outstanding. And for building up what's called collagen and elastin to keep our, integrity together.
That's a good buzzword.
The last 2 things are just cancer. So many studies on cancer, therapeutic aspects of garlic. And again, we talked about the energy and stamina. One thing, when I was traveling through India and Southeast Asia, all the monks who were going into celibacy, they were prohibited from eating garlic and onions. That was a taboo. No garlic and onions.
Now,
because
why is
they
that?
felt that it gave them sexual energy.
Oh.
And if they're going to be celibate, they've got to cut that off.
So she didn't have an essential oil with garlic. That's not the one I spilled on me last week.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what you spilled so many on you and things like that. So and that's, so garlic is multi-purpose, it can be used in different ways. And, you're the garlic farmer.
We'll talk about cultivation. So this is actually elephant garlic, which is a leek. We're in the leek family. And Patrick, you want to bring that up? A lot of people wonder, I actually, before we started growing garlic, didn't know what it was going to look like when it came up out of the ground. And it's actually very beautiful. I don't think my husband is going to be very happy about this because this came up early. And I tried to, put it in the jar so that you could see right here is the roots, the mycelium. They're those white, hairy looking things. And then the actual clove, which everyone is familiar with who cooks with garlic. So we have your garlic clove, and you plant that in. Now, they are not asexual. You can cross your plants, but for some reason, most people are farming and they're planting their garlic via the clove, which you want to get at a store that is not a grocery store. I'm trying to think of like a farmer's market or heirloom seeds. That's what we've done. You continue to grow them because the ones that are in your grocery store are really, they've been bred for longevity and you don't get as much potency for your healing aspect or even for flavor. So check this out. I just love the thin, sort of like a tropical Dracaena plant, you know, those
Beautiful.
big, without the thin leaves. And this, guess how tall that will go? Now, that's ground height, and this is early, guys. This isn't even supposed to be happening right now. So we planted in July, mid-July, a little early this year, 6 weeks before the frost in the northern culture.
But traditionally, it's good to plant them in the fall, right, normally?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Actually, though, that was a leftover. That's what he said. That's a bumper crop garlic. I forgot about that because we're getting ready to plant.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I'm off with my seasons. But guess how tall that will go?
2 feet?
4 feet.
4 feet.
That thing gets really huge. It's amazing. So the white garlic, can we see a picture of that's the white garlic. Most people are familiar with that. And at the bottom you can see where it's been in the ground and the roots were there. So you cut that off. And we have a soft neck and a hard neck. Okay, thank you. And let's see what else we have. So this is one that's quite similar. It's a little bit smaller. And this is original from our home because we're in the process of, this is our 4th generation. We actually got a clove of garlic from a friend of mine who had a 26th generation Tuscan garlic. So Tuscany has a very different climate, and we grow ours with lots of seaweed, and we've learned how to aerate the soil because you'll get moldy roots. Yeah, that's seaweed.
Yeah.
We've lugged it from the shore. So it's not hard. It's very frost-friendly, easy to grow. We just take it 6 inches apart, 4 inches into the earth. You cover it up in the fall, 6 weeks before frost, and you let it go. And then you will check the bulb, dig in towards the summer when you're ready to harvest to make sure that your bulb has gotten big enough. Otherwise, it's just going to kill the growth of it. And another interesting thing is we have something called a scape that will come off the top and it curls. So you want to pull that off so all the energy can go back down into the plant. So that's basically a little garlic gardening lesson for you.
Wow.
And then the culinary, I just brought a few things. Most of us know how to use garlic, but we have the garlic press where you put the clove in and squeeze. And then you can have a chopper. One of the only non-edible pieces are the paper, the skin from the garlic that you usually take away. And here's just a little bit of the long neck that you can see there. I brought my knife, but I'm not going to use it because we're running out of time. And we need our guests to come on. So we are celebrating with our guests the 8th annual Old Mystic Village Garlic Festival. And we have Connie Carocari, and she is from the Blue Squid Bakery. And then we have Kathy Sullivan, and she has 2 stores in the village. One of them is clothing and fun accessories. And the second one is specialty garden specialties. I knew that was going to happen. I'm so sorry. I had it written down. And both ladies are on the committee, so welcome, the committee for the Garlic Festival.
Thank you for having us. Good.
I'm waiting out the long informational part of this interview. So it's been 8 years that the Garlic Festival is now on. So
in Old Mystic Village.
In Old Mystic Village. Where was it beforehand?
It was at Adam's Garden of Eden, I think it was called.
That's right, in Pawcatuck.
Exactly, and it outgrew that spot, and they decided not to do it anymore because it had gotten so large. So we ended up taking it on in Old Mystic Village.
Interesting. A great place for it, too. We were talking.
And what would you like your audience to know about this festival? I mean, what makes it special and what makes it so dramatic and different than.
Well, there's really 3 major components. It's got just as much music involvement. We have like 18 different bands playing throughout the
We
weekend.
have a music slide.
We do. And we also...
Are those mostly Connecticut bands? Local
They're all
bands,
local
So
bands.
it's supporting the local community. Great.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
And the farmers, all local farmers. We have a lot
There you
of
go.
local farmers that participate. And
So they set up their booths and they bring all their goods from the local farms.
And we could see the organic
Yeah.
farmer slide now.
and a lot of course, what they bring is garlic.
Yeah,
A lot of garlic, fresh garlic. And a lot of people do come to buy their garlic to plant, for their own.
Yes, that's where
Their
we
own
got some
farms,
of ours.
yes, exactly. And you're going to
Absolutely.
sell there someday. So.
Yes, I hope so. Maybe next year we'll have enough.
Right. And then, of course, the food. The food is a huge piece of it. I mean, everybody likes to eat, and there's all kinds of garlic things. The restaurants within our village participate, and we also have some outside restaurants that come in and set up for the weekend, and everything garlic.
So it's fantastic food, garlic theme, great music,
Mm-hmm.
and you got something. I mean, you won the award, didn't you, at the Connecticut Magazine? The best is it the best cupcake
Best cupcakes we did.
for the whole state?
Well, that's
Or
what they said, and I believe
that's
them, of
Connecticut
course.
Magazine. that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yep.
So what are these?
So these are something we only do for the Garlic Festival, but they're a miniature garlic cupcake made with a roasted garlic cupcake, and they have a fresh ginger buttercream on top to kind of help balance that out. But everybody is so into garlic for the festival, we had to incorporate that into our cupcakes. So we do this just for the Garlic Festival for
That's
those 2
awesome.
days.
And you
Mhm.
also have a spread, a garlic
We
spread?
do. We do a lot of garlic things at the Blue Squid, and all the other restaurants in the village do the same. I mean, everybody is all about garlic for this festival. But this is a roasted garlic spread that we do, and our garlic and croustades. So it's croustades, yes. And this is one of the things that we highlight. So it's very garlicky, mellows in time. It is roasted garlic, so not raw garlic.
Yeah, well, I think
But-
people want roasted.
Yeah. There's so much garlic. It's delicious.
That's awesome.
How long have you had this bakery? How long has it been?
I've actually been there for almost 7.5 years now. But the garlic cupcakes are not that old. Just a couple of years on this.
Because everything goes crazy. In the beginning, you said that it wasn't as grand as it is now for the 8th year. So in the very beginning, I remember hearing about a garlic festival and finding it a strange event, exciting strange. Like, wow, what could you do at a garlic festival besides eat or buy garlic? And you have so many things to offer.
Yeah.
And it's elbow to elbow now, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Wow.
And we have some entertainment, like we use, they do, what is it, with the dog training, where the police dogs, they bring in.
Oh, the canine unit.
Yeah, and,
And the Birds of Prey
right.
are usually there giving exhibitions. All the kids always love that. And there's things like the face painting and, all the little things for the
making.
kids.
That's
It's a
very
very
kid-friendly.
family orientated.
Great for our community.
But do you have advice to get there early? It's
Yes.
September 18th, 19th. I
It's
think
19th and 20th.
19th and 20th.
19th and 20th. That's a Saturday, Sunday. I've heard it's 11 to 7 on Saturday. Is that correct? Something like that?
Yes.
And 11 to 6 on Sunday.
On Sunday.
And get there early.
It's extremely busy, and while we have a ton of parking in the village, it
spills
fills up.
over?
Try to get there by 1 o'clock. Sooner.
Well, one
Trying to
thing,
get
people
there
do
early.
rotate, so that
Yeah.
helps too.
Right.
Some people come early and then they leave, so their parking space comes useful for the person that shows up.
And
at
there's
3.
parking down in different
They park
areas too.
everywhere.
So,
Yeah,
so
they
it's
park
really
everywhere.
flexible. And there's no admission, right?
It's free.
Great
No
event.
parking is free. No
Everything
admission
is
cost.
Absolutely.
And just 17, 18 bands. I mean, that's amazing. It's like a mini Woodstock for free.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And the health benefits of garlic on top of everything. So you can still have a good time and feel good about it. That's one doesn't happen very often, does it?
Wow.
That's really a cool thing. And, your garden specialty shop.
Yes.
Do you might have some things that we could use in the gardening process?
Well, absolutely. We are a garden gift shop, so we do have the usefulness, the gloves and the tools.
Oh,
and
can I
stuff.
see those? Those look very pretty. I
Aren't
love the
those
fashionable
garden girl? Yes.
gardening gloves. Are you thinking about using those?
Well, I mean,
Well, I bought
daughters
something.
out there.
No.
And she would love when she sees pink.
Right? And
Immediately.
lace.
Yeah,
Those
lace.
are great.
That's pretty.
Yes. and
No,
I
we
love
brought
the
that
purple
for you.
fingers.
Oh, I got that. Official
Oh, aren't
tester.
you lucky?
Wow. Jeez. Okay. That means I get to go to your bakery and test
Absolutely.
everything for free.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. You heard it, everybody.
That's right. Your ticket in.
Okay.
These are
Yeah,
great.
and then
wow,
this is
look at
really
this.
perfect for
That is
planting.
perfect for
Beautiful.
planting your garlic. That's about the depth you'd want, and you could dig your trench. I love the ergonomics of this. That's
well,
really,
that's what it's all about.
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to
And
handle.
this is the vampire.
It's looking a
Vampire
little
piece.
scary there, isn't it? These are really nice. I like the weight of them.
Yeah, they're great.
And
You can
just
really-
dig right in, and
You don't need a horse and plow.
no, there it is.
That's pretty
You
good
just
stuff.
do your workout there with your gardening. Those are awesome. So when I was just wondering, like, how do you infuse all your products with the garlic? Do you chop it up and throw it in raw for health benefits, or?
Well, no.
No one will eat it.
Exactly.
Right, it will burn you.
It's a business.
It is a business, and we want it to be very tasty as well as healthful. So we roast all the garlic ahead of time, and then either we use the oils that we roast them in, or we use the pureed garlic, and we use it in everything from our grilled cheese sandwiches to the croustades to the cupcakes. And
That's awesome.
mm-hmm.
I'm getting really hungry, and it's almost time. We have to close up already. 30 minutes goes by so fast.
Sure does.
Anything you'd like to add to?
The only thing that that I would like to add is that a lot of the Garlic Festival also raises money that we donate this year to the Coogan Farms.
Oh, that's great.
Some of the proceeds that are raised are going to go to the Coogan Farms and help the farmers in the area. As Kathy pointed out, this is all about the farmers in the community and giving back a little bit as well.
That's wonderful. So there's a good charity behind it.
Mhm.
That's great. It's an awesome festival, and I can't wait to go. From everything I've heard and people have told me. Oh, you were going to ask me. My daughter asked me to say
Oh,
something.
she had some jokes.
Yes, I have a daughter who was always telling me jokes and things. She said, "Daddy, can you say something?" So okay, this is for you, Carlina. There were two garlic cloves walking down the street. Then they went across the street, and a car came by, and suddenly, boom, hit one of those garlic cloves. They had to call 911. Ambulance takes the clove to the hospital, up into surgery. The uninjured garlic clove was really worrying about his friend and frantic and agonizing. Suddenly, the surgeon came down and said, "Good news and bad news. Good news is your friend is going to pull through. The bad news is he's going to be a vegetable for life."
No. She'll love
That's
that,
third
though.
grade humor.
It's awesome. Well, folks, thanks so much for joining us.
And also, someone asked a question about whatever happened in the last show when you poured all those
the
aphrodisiacs
oil.
poured all over you.
Yeah,
Those essential oils.
I had some pretty erratic behavior afterwards.
Oh no! Oh geez!
Watch out,
You really
folks.
changed. And you're
Wow.
setting up a kissing booth at the Mystic
Oh,
right at
that's
the
just my
festival.
favorite. Yeah.
Okay, so if anyone wants to be there, come to the Mystic, and it's free kisses, right?
Right, I will have these on. And I'll charge a lot for them because we're going to donate this money to their Cougans.
Okay, our next show.
The Cougans. Yeah, so our next show, we have Kathleen O'Reilly coming on. I want to make sure I get this right. She is a professor of sociology, and I can't find her bio in this pile. Here it is, Gender and Sexuality Studies. We're going to explore the ideology of intimacy and look at the qualities that characterize a healthy, intimate relationship. Do you think garlic's going to be a part of that one?
Well, for the Egyptians and the Roman warriors, it might have been.
That's right. Okay, good stamina.
So
So join us next time, and stay well, and thank you for everything
thank
today.
our guests very
Thank you
much
so
for
much.
Thank you for
having
having
us.
Thank you, Frank.